When the doctor said that there was no heartbeat, I knew that my son was dead, and I also knew that I was going to have to deliver him. They basically checked me into the hospital. I mean, we had a brief cry. They pulled like a makeshift curtain around us, and then they took me into the room to get induced. And later that evening, I gave birth to Heath. And, you know, I was talking about the pregnancy being surreal. This is surreal in the worst way, because when you think about the day that you're going to give birth to your child, it's going to be the happiest day of your life. And suddenly you flip a switch and it's your worst nightmare. So you go through the whole labor and you push. You know, I ended up having stitches, and I delivered my son, but he was dead. And at that time, you know, I was really in shock. I was so scared. I could not process what was happening. Your heart and your mind are just broken. So, you know, I went to therapy. I got a psychiatrist who specialized in reproductive issues. I mean, it was a struggle with a capital S, because you kind of don't know how to continue living your life at that point, and you don't know how you can continue to live without your child.
So the next day I gave birth to Araya. It was really difficult, and I really regret not holding her right away. I sent her to get cleaned up, and I wish I held her a little bit longer because she was still warm, and when she came back she was cold. So it was really difficult at that moment, and then having to leave the hospital, leaving her there at the hospital. The days after that was really, really difficult. I really didn't want to live anymore. And it's just that day just replaying over and over again.
I think it was just a little bit different for me because I wasn't carrying Araya. I didn't have like those daily physical interactions that my wife had with her over those 9 months. And so for me, it was more the hopes and the dreams, you know, wanting to make pancakes with her in the mornings, you know, teach her music, piano, you know, just the things that I love. When it happened, it just felt like my whole future was just crushed and was just gone.
One of my main responsibilities and goals when I see a patient and a couple come to me is to help them understand why the loss or complication occurred. I'm a very data-driven person. I believe in showing my patients the actual reasons for the loss or the complication, and by showing them the specific reason for, let's say, the loss, that will help them understand that it has nothing to do with the mother. Right? It's not the mother's fault. I'm not just going to say to her, it's not your fault. She will not believe me, right? Because she feels guilty. She feels that it doesn't matter. I should have done something different. If I only had eaten this or not eaten that, or only had gotten up, you know, at a different time that day, or slept longer that day, whatever is in her mind, I want to show the couple exactly why it happened. And I explained to them that, look, this is what actually happened, and clearly this has nothing to do with you. You do not control the blood vessels that supply blood to the placenta. You do not control the genetics of the pregnancy, right? You don't control what genes are on or off inside of that pregnancy, of course. So by just giving them tangible data, I help them understand that the reason for the complication or loss has nothing to do with anything they did or did not do.
After we had our services a week later, I had reached out to my employer and asked about whether or not I would be covered for paid family leave. They assumed that I would. They reached out to the insurance company that processes it, and they were informed that because the baby had passed, that I would not qualify. What it made me feel like was that New York State did not recognize me as a mother, as if I did not carry this child for 9 months, protect her, suffer all the ailments and restrictions that come with being pregnant. It's very physically taxing. And then to go through a tragic loss and have to give birth and suffer all of the same postpartum symptoms that every other woman does, and tell me I have to go immediately back to work or take short-term disability at $170 a week before taxes, I found that to be an absolute disgrace and incredibly disgusting. After Olivia passed and I found out I didn't qualify, I reached out to a number of state legislative people in New York, assembly members. What I said to them was, this is not just about grieving. This is about women having the right to heal from 9 months of pregnancy and birth and the postpartum effects, that your body doesn't realize that you don't have a baby to care for. So you still have to endure all of the things that any other mom of a living child would. And anyone who's given birth knows it's very grueling. I think the states need to implement free counseling for stillbirth moms. I think that there should be a tax credit for stillbirth parents. There should be counseling for stillbirth dads. I don't have the energy, but the strength that I'm gaining is from Olivia. And I have to make sure that women and families and stillbirth babies after me don't have to go through this.
His baby says no to dance. Peekaboo, hello
Beautiful. Ooh, good.